Blade Show Texas, an annual event that I like to go to where it's a pretty decently large knife show. Happens in Fort Worth, Texas, which is in my neck of the woods. And I got to tell you, the 5 most unique things that I saw at Blade Show Texas, most of which I kind of ended up picking up, whether given to me by the company, making the purchase myself. I thought the stuff was kind of unique. We got to start off with the hometown fave. That's going to be Tactile Knife, Tactile Term, kissing cousins, sister companies, working out of the same facility. Let's check out this very unique knife.
So I'm over here with Michael with Tactile Turn, and tell me more about this. I guess it's just like a bear offshoot or what?
Yeah, so actually whenever we prototyped the bear, one of the things I wanted to do was put a bottle opener on it.
Okay.
So that's exactly what we did. So this is the standard Bayer, but the back half of the blade is a bottle opener. You still have all your usable edge for your Amazon packages, since we all know everyone's an Amazon warrior. Yeah, so as a bottle opener, it still functions really well. Some people ask about like the usability of it. This has been done since like the early 1900s of putting a bottle opener behind your blade. Functions really well. Love me some Topo Chico.
Is this one mine?
It's yours if you want it, man.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah. So this is the crazy thing is, like, first off, I like the innovation. I like the fact that it's here in Dallas, Texas, where I live. But that's not the reason why it's one of the top 5. I just really, sometimes the integration of bottle openers is cheesy and EDC stuff. Yeah. But this time it's one of those ones where someone doesn't know you have it until you need it.
For me, man,
so
my wallet is a custom wallet by Chattanooga Leatherworks. Really great people. They make a lot of our leather sheaths. But it has a little sheath for my bottle opener, Bayer. So I've always got a knife when I leave the house. I've always got a bottle opener when I leave the house. All I got to do is make sure I got money I can pay for shit.
And ready to rock,
yeah.
We all love us some Civivi Sencut and We knife. Seems like they pump out a lot of SKUs. They're pumping out a lot of knives. One thing caught my attention. I don't know if I oftentimes see anything from Civivi that involves the word titanium until I saw this hobo toolkit.
Kyle, what do we have? What is this?
All right, so this is gonna be just a take on like your kind of like your hobo tool, if you will, right? So we got a titanium kind of like liner system with that does come apart. It's kind of locked in here by magnets when it's put together. But then you have the stainless steel utensils, okay? Fork, spoon. You do have a knife that with some really small serrations, as well as a bottle opener and can opener.
So this is more like for the glamper, for somebody that's all into camping, but they want the nicest, or is this for somebody who just wants to have the ultimate survival kit?
Exactly, and right now this is very prototype. Like I don't even know the name of this, and if we're still going to be using titanium, stuff like that. So,
but even though it's in prototype phase, I still thought it was unique looking. I'm loving what Civivi Sencut has been doing, seemingly dropping at least 1 or 2 knives a month. At least that's what it looks like. Is that about right?
That's at least.
So what is
sometimes more.
What is y'all's goals with y'all SKUs? Are y'all trying to get y'all SKU count up higher? Like, you know, I feel like y'all are really pumping out a lot of knives.
We want to give what the people want.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of knives. There's a knife for everybody, right?
Yeah.
And there's designers that we're working with and stuff like that. So we're able to get, more knives in people's hands.
That makes sense. Well, I appreciate it, man. Most definitely.
Thanks, X.
I've heard of Jackwood knives. I see a lot of creators with Jackwood knives. They remind me of just like a glamorous slip joint. You're over there in London, you're over there in a European country, you're somewhere in the States where you can't have a knife that locks, and you want something that's kind of like glamorous, you go with Jack Wolf. At least that's what my perceived thought. I had no clue they were doing this until I got to Blade, Texas.
Got slapped in the face when I found out not only have they went beyond slip joints, they have fixies, but dropping today is this interesting bolster lock. I have Benjamin here to talk about this bolster lock. Can you tell me about it? And what made y'all go towards folding pocket knives that have locks? How did that come about?
Well, back at Blade Show 2023, I experimented with our first locking model. It was called the Gunslinger. Didn't know how it was going to do because we were known for the slip joints, but people were stoked on it. And so based on that, I started converting some of my slip joint designs to locking knife designs. And about a year later, we started rolling them out. So we've been slowly and steadily rolling out locking versions of our slip joints.
So what knife dropped today?
So We're got an early release today of our Diamondback jack. This is the locking version of our Venom jack. So you can get this one at the show. This has Techno-Carbo copper scales and a hand satin blade, polished titanium backspacer. And then next Friday at all our dealers, the mainline versions of this release become available.
Okay. What is the, now I'm a super novice when it comes to knives on purpose. Tell me about the blade shape, the locking mechanism. I heard you already described the scales, but tell me more about that, yeah.
Sure. So what you'll find about our locking knife models is they look a lot like a slip joint.
Yep.
So if you first glance, it's hard to tell the difference, but we do have a small but effective thumb flipper on it. It's called a bolster lock because it's a full frame lock that's covered by the scale, revealing only a portion of the lock bar visible in the bolster area.
Okay.
We also have a small fuller or nail nick on both sides, so you can middle finger flick it whether you're right-handed or left-handed. The pocket clip is removable. You disassemble the knife, you unscrew the pocket clip, and included in your packaging is an insert so you can fill the hole and carry it in a leather slip the way we like to carry slip joints.
Right. Well, I appreciate that. Yes, most definitely. Looks really good.
No matter where I go, I always find another Marine, whether active duty, prior Marine. I always can find one, whether we're taking photos or you're showing me one of your newest knives at Blade Show, Texas. This time it happens to be with Kell Knives and the owner, Tim, which has a brand new, very, very nice knife, which honors his father-in-law.
And I'm at Kell Knives, prior Marine, still a Marine, just like your boy. And we got to talk about what dropped for Blade, Texas. What do we got?
DP1.
The DP1. So tell me about where did the origins of it? Why did you make it? Did you just want to make a neck knife? Does it have a backstory? Like, what do you know? Yeah.
One was this knife, one of the first blades I made for her dad, and he loved it. One of the first hand ground, so we have it here. And since he's been sick, so now that he can't get out of bed, and I wanted to make this in commemoration of him. So on the back side of that, you'll see his signature. He can't sign his signature anymore. He's got a brain tumor, and he's one of the most inspirational people in my life. So I feel like what better to honor him than to make his favorite blade.
I think that story is crazy cool. But not only is it a good story, but the knife is functional. Like, what do you see this as? A neck knife being in your pocket, utility cuts, stabbing some burlap? Like, what can you do with this knife?
I think it's EDC.
Okay.
It's pocket carry. It's the thinnest blade we've ever made. It's got the thinnest grips we've ever done in G10.
It does give vibes of an AR-15 met a baby neck knife. Like, it kind of gives all that in one. Is that kind of like the inspiration or what?
Yeah, my stuff ends up looking like guns because I own more guns than knives.
Yeah.
I just think, check it out. I think it's unique, it's different, and it honors my father-in-law, so it's worth a look.
I have this long-standing rule when it comes to blade shows. Always go there with a naked pocket. I didn't go there with a knife. I went there with the intention of buying a knife. 2 years ago, I didn't buy one. I mean, I was given knives, but I didn't make the purchase. Last year I did. This year I did it again. And I did it with one of my favorite companies, with one of my favorite stories. And at the end of the day, they had to, I was just saying, take my money because I need this now.
Three Rivers Manufacturing has done that warm feeling for me, and it's the knife that I might want to purchase. But hold off on that. Can you tell me more about this knife that just dropped today?
This knife, it's amazing. It just dropped today, and I didn't say anything. Typically, as soon as somebody mentions making something new, I put it on Instagram or in a Facebook group, so I was very good, and this is the first time we're showing everybody our frame lock. Everybody loves the Neutron, so we thought about a frame lock for years. Finally, we said, let's do it now. And it's not like the Neutron 1. It's got the same pocket like the Neutron 2 has, and it'll also be replaceable just like the Neutron 2.
So the quick replaceable scales on the show side.
Yes.
And the thing about how long was this in development?
Actually, it wasn't as long as typical knives because it was the same knife, it's the same blade. I would say probably 4 months.
That's not bad.
It's really had to work hard to get this perfect, how we're going to mill it with a pocket. And we used the Bulldog clip rather than a Neutron clip. There's a lot of details in here to make it perfect. And of course, the centering.
Yes, exactly.
Got to be centered. So it took probably 3 or 4 months, which typically is very short amount of time. But for this one, because it was the same blade, the same front, the same liner, just one liner.
Right. And that's what the crazy thing is. So just cat out the bag. This is the knife I want to buy for Blade Texas because I love y'all's story of Halpern titanium, all the way fast forward to up there in the northeast of Three Rivers Manufacturing, and just so you know, I like this a lot.
Regular Neutron, but I know that's going to be very popular.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, we know the cat is out the bag. I ended up buying the Neutron #2 frame lock. This is Three Rivers Manufacturing first go to frame lock, and I must say it does have Grandpa excited so far. If you want to know what else I picked up at Blade Show Texas for 2025, click the link that's on the screen right now. That's going to get you everything you need to know. Also, subscribe to the channel, and I will catch you soon.